So we are live. Hi Neil. Good.
Hey, Precious, how
It's
are you?
it's evening for me. It's almost a new day. So good evening.
It's
I'm
evening for me
good.
here
I'm
too.
good. I'm good. All right. It's nice. Oh yeah. Nice hanging out with you today. It's another Sunday and it's another live session. Right. So do you think we should talk about the week? Like an overview of what we did generally this week. Maybe for
Yeah, I
those
think
who are not like
yeah, I
probably
think
on
that's a really good
Discord
idea.
or who are not actively following us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Uh,
yeah.
we
So I mean, on the community part this week, we had we had our community call on Discord. Okay. So I think on the community side, we had our community call on Discord, and had some people give us some amazing feedback, and we had some people volunteer to take up some of the channels on Discord. Someone reached out to me yesterday and said, "Oh, that he will gladly handle our web development channel on Discord." And some other people are trying to take up open source. That way we can have create smaller values for people inside various channels and also have some of the channels active. So if you are listening in and you want to be part of our community, you can join us on Discord. I'm going to drop the link on the chat so you can join us on Discord. So if you're watching this later, you can join us on Discord. So I'm going to leave it off for Neil. Neil, so how was your week on the Tublian side of things?
It was a busy week. We're doing lots of stuff. I think one thing you probably didn't mention, we sent out the newsletter, right? Finally, we did, which is uh, we want to get better at it, but hopefully that will help everyone to kind of learn about what we are doing. And we are heads down um, focusing on building our new agent, which is a biz dev agent. So there's lots of interesting stuff happen on the product side. One thing we released this week is our new profile, Edit Profile V2, a new version of Edit Profile. So if you're a Tublian user, I would love you to go to your profile. There are a couple of interesting things we have added there. I don't know, maybe we should demo this. Should I share my screen, Precious? Maybe this is a good way to do this, right? Let me see if I can share
Yeah,
my
I think you should share your screen. Yeah,
share my screen,
good.
entire screen. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You present. So when you
Is it
present, you can add it to screen. Yeah, add to stage. Yeah, your screen is live.
okay? Beautiful. So let me log into my Tublian profile in here. So one of the feedback that we got from our users are obviously that the stuff that our agents generate, like tailored resume and job recommendations by our jobs copilot, there is an opportunity for us to fine tune so that we can really truly understand your need, your passion, what you really care about, and highlight them. So for that, our agents kind of need a little more information about you. So one of the main driver for this edit profile is twofold. One is can I help you kind of organize that information? Obviously, we collect lots of data. You provide lots of data in a profile. So you're going to have nice little sections for job experience, education, and we added a new tab called personalization. What this allows you to do is obviously set up your tech stack, what you prefer, because this essentially drives all your open source recommendation, your job recommendations, and the content on the explore. Everything is driven by this preference. We also added this new thing, which if you're an existing user, this has been live for a few weeks now, but if you're an existing user, if you haven't configured this, please make sure to go to edit profile, personalization, and tell us what's the main goal, why you using Tublian, what you want to get out of Tublian. So we created sort of a two persona in here. One persona is that you could say that, hi, I'm just here to grow as a software developer. And if you just select that, what essentially that's going to mean is your dashboard and everything, we're working on this obviously, is going to change, and it's going to focus on optimize for this experience. On the other hand, if you say that I'm really interested in finding opportunities, you essentially can click the option 2. That would mean your dashboard and other information, we're going to optimize, specifically focus on how can we help you find gigs and opportunities. The new thing that we are super excited about is that truly you will be able to now customize this. I know it says BizDev Agent, which is coming hopefully end of this month, finger crossed. This is a new section we added where we asking additional information from you. So for an example, if when you go to Jobs Copilot and say you want to generate your resume, and part of the resume is like sort of a cover letter and a summary section that we generate, we've got feedback from our community that that summary section feels like very AI, right? It feels like very robotic. It doesn't have the human touch. So one of the things that we have added here is that now you can share your content. Like I copied an email in here, and your samples. So it could be your email, how you write your resume, maybe summary section, maybe blogs that you have written, and you paste that. And if you click generate preview, what essentially happens is that our agent figures out your style, your tone, how you approach things, and learn from it. We're going to use this technique to essentially generate everything that agent's going to do, which will essentially hopefully solve the problem. And it's going to feel like that you created those resumes. We also added some sections for tell us what's your ideal job looks like. You could say, hey, I'm really passionate about full stack development with JavaScript and this, and Redis in the backend. So as you can describe your job, this will help our agent to figure out, okay, I know exactly what Nilanjan is looking for, including expected rates and stuff. So this is all the primary goal for this is obviously to make sure that when we making recommendations for you, we truly understand what you care about. So that's one of the big thing that we released this week. Hopefully that will solve some of the issues we've been having with the edit profile. That's kind of summary of what we have released this week. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Yeah, it was really a busy week. Yeah, yeah. So it was really a busy week, like you said. It was really a busy week. All right. So okay, so last week, just a quick recap, we talked about what is Tublian, and I think Nelanjan answered the story of the question of how and why he started this company and then building this product, what we are doing at Tublian, what we represent, the kind of community, the kind of product we are trying to build, and the kind of the way we see the future, basically, right? So just a follow up on that. Today we are going to be touching on street cred. So last week you talked about street cred. So street cred is the number. If you sign up on Tublian right now, you're going to see this number on your dashboard. So you let's say 20 or 30 or 40. Some people have 98. I've not seen 100 before, right? So you're going to see this number. So what does it mean? What does it stand for? Why do we give that number? That is what we're going to look at today. So what does street cred mean? What is street cred basically? I think that should be the title of this today's session. What is street cred? So last week was what is Tublian. This week is what is you. So let's start. Let's do it the way we always do it. So the question for today is so what is street cred?
Yeah, that's probably one of the core feature of Tublian, right? Everything revolves around that. At the core level, this is just a credit score for software developers. I think the more important aspect of this, why do this? Why it creates sort of a scoring system? So we have it, and I have I believe this is my personal belief, and that's how we are growing this community. That the traditional way of identifying or validating developers through resumes, certificates, uh, and degrees are not very universal, right? I mean, our community is very international. We have people around more than 80 countries. So our first challenge was to essentially, is there a kind of more objective way of determining that a single developer, someone have the skills, right? A passion, someone is passionate about it. And I don't think the traditional way of doing it actually works. So that was the main driver for creating Street Cred. Um, Another aspect of this is that I strongly believe that great developers tinker with things, right? I mean, they like to build things. So they will launch something and they'll quickly figure out, hey, how can I use this technology to build X, build Y, build this app? So so that essentially drove this idea of what if we create some sort of scoring mechanism, which will basically look at work, not what I say, but what I've demonstrated. Hey, look, I've built something. So what we do with Street Cred is essentially kind of focus on proof of work, right? So tell us what you have done, which is the primary thing we look at is your GitHub. So that's how you register. So the moment you register with GitHub, we look at your GitHub account, look at your open source contribution and projects, and based on that, we collect some data points, right? We look at 100 different properties, like what kind of projects you're committing, what kind of things you're doing, how often you're building. All that essentially drives and builds the score. And it's not perfect, but there are some challenges with this, obviously. But this, the only thing we're looking for is signals, right? So we think the score provides a good signal over noise to say if your score is higher, it tends to be that you are a developer who really passionate about your craft. You really like what you do. And that's what drives this. So Street Cred is essentially an incentive system in our platform that we use to drive good behavior. So we encourage you to do open source contribution because we think that will make you a better developer and also improve your Street Cred. We encourage you to do challenges, which is very real worldish. We know that once you complete challenge or take a part of this challenge, you're going to learn lots of valuable, interesting stuff that is important in the real world. So that also drives score. So all this essentially the main reason why we created the Street Cred model. And sort of an universal way of determining someone's credibility and skill. So so it's unbiased. So good thing about being data driven is that it doesn't care about your location in your background, because hey, JavaScript is JavaScript, good code is good code. It really doesn't matter whether you're from Africa, India, or US. So that way we feel like the Street Cred is a really good model to kind of evaluate somebody or drive good behavior.
Yeah, nice. Thank you very much for breaking it down. So, I mean, yeah, tracking and having like a way to measure all your developer activity across board, right? It's not just what you are doing on one platform, is about what you are doing everywhere when you contribute to open source, when you participate in challenges, in fact, anything you do, right? We are tracking it. Okay, so I think the next question I have for you is who should care? Okay, it's going to come in two phases, right? So the first one is why should developers care about street cred? That's number
Mhm.
one. Then number two is who else cares about street cred? So the first one is for the developers. Why should developers care about street cred? And then who else should care about street cred? Is it the recruiters? Is it the hiring managers? Is it product managers? Is it team leads, technical directors? Who else should care about street cred? And then why should a developer care about street cred?
Yeah, so let's focus on, that's a great question. Why would a developer care about street cred? Um, so one of the thing that I think is very important and is becoming even more important as we move into the world of AI is your online presence or your personal branding. We are very passionate about that, obviously, is very important. Um, because no matter what you do, irrespective of if you're looking for a job or recruiter is looking for you, um, if you are networking with anybody, if you're looking for an introduction, you're sending an email out to somebody. The first thing they're typically going to do is take your name, put it on a Google, and see what they can find out about you. Right now, ideally, we want them to find some interesting stuff about you, right? Not just your LinkedIn profile. I know everybody probably has a LinkedIn profile. So if I put your name in there, are your LinkedIn profile going to show up? That's wonderful, but I don't believe that's enough, right? What ideally I want to know about you is, okay, that's great. Nilanjan's saying that Nilanjan is really good at X, Y, and Z. When I put Nilanjan's name in here, does Google think Nilanjan is good at X, Y, and Z? So that's the first problem we are trying to solve. Even if we are scoring with street cred, there is a tremendous second order benefits that happens behind the scene that we don't talk about much, right? We talk about, hey, my score is 80. That's great. But there is even bigger benefit happening. What is that as you building the street cred, that means you are building in public, like you're doing all this contribution, like Precious said, right? You're either doing you're doing lots of open source, or you're doing podcasts, you're doing writing blog, because all of these things matters. If you're doing it for street cred, that's wonderful. But there's another interesting thing happening is that you are adding your stuff, your creativity, you're building things in public. Guess what? When next time I Google about you, those things also shows up on a Google search engine. So, so why your developer will care about street cred? Because Tublian helps them to build that Google search result page. So using Tublian, what's going to happen is that we essentially helping you build a better Google search result page. So tomorrow, if somebody is looking put your name in there, they're going to find lots of interesting stuff about you. So that matters. The second aspect why others will care about it is kind of same answer, which is when others with, if a recruiter, for an example, looking for you to hire, they will Google you. And when they will Google you, they're going to find lots of interesting stuff about you. Those things matters because in the world that we are heading into is going to become very noisy, right? Everyone is talking about, I'm an AI expert. I can do X, Y, and Z. Uh, the the only way you can differentiate yourself is that okay, I know I do but know X, Y, and Z, but also at the same time, look, I have done all of this stuff. You can see my work. So there is a tremendous benefit of this that I believe your social capital, that means your personal brand, most of the time equals to your economic value. That means better your online presence is, more money you're gonna make. So it's overall a win-win model for everybody. Does that
Okay.
make
Thank you
sense?
very much. So it's a win-win model for everybody. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, on the developer part, and then also on who should care, right? Who should care about street cred? The technical directors and that part. So it's a win-win for everybody. So I think the next question is: you talked about building your brand, to begin helping developers to build their brand and all. So I'm a developer. I sign up on Tublian today. How is Tublian going to help me to build my brand? Let's say in the next 30 days.
Yeah. So we typically do few things, right? Depending upon where you are in your journey, your recommendations that Tublian AI agent is going to provide is going to be very different. So for an example, if you're very new to this, and this happens a lot, that users create a GitHub account just so that they can register Tublian, which I always find that's kind of amazing. So we essentially making this world a better place. So if you are a very beginner, emerging dev, what are the things that we do is that we focus heavily on, okay, we assume that you're really good at it, right? We teach, but we assume that you joined Tublian because you already figured out the skills. You know you want to become sort of a developer. You're passionate about things. What we take care of is that, okay, let's figure out how we can give you real world experience. That's so we focus on solving last mile problems, right? When developer comes in saying that I know how to code, then in Tublian is okay. Let's take that skill and figure out how we can give you a real world experience. To do that, we do a bunch of stuff, and we make lots of open source project recommendations that's ideal for that skill that help them to. And open source is a great way to kind of validate and improve and gain experience. And we talked about challenges, and there is an 80/20 component that developers use to gain experience. So we try to structure it, and time to time we do run lots of AI internship, open source internships, which are very popular in our platform. I hope we can do that every month, but this takes lots of logistics. But those are the things that developers has gone through in the past. Some lots of them obviously ended up gaining real world experiences. Some of them got an opportunity out of this. So there are tremendous benefits that you can get. On top of that, we have a developer community on our Discord that people can join, ask questions, get answers to them. So those are some of the real key benefits that we provide that we feel like the lots of other platforms and institutes really doesn't do. They help you teach you your skill, but there is a gray area between I know how to code to I'm ready for a job. And those are the gray areas we try to solve with Tublian.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. So when you join Tublian today, for you to be able to build your brand, you should start contributing to open source. You should start participating in the challenges because those things are going to your credibility cred. And then the platform, I mean, obviously activities are going to increase on the internet. Yeah. All right. So I think that is. Can you, maybe show us your screen and show us a demo on how building our brand? Show us not a demo, like show us some tool or some tools that we can use to
Yeah,
build. As a developer, I joined Tublian today, so do
yeah. I'm trying to
next
share my
five
screen
tips that help
screen back
me
again.
build my brand. Yeah, build my brand.
Do you see my screen? Do you see my screen? Oh, okay, I think you do. That's fine. Yeah, so when you join in, this is my score. Trust me, I'm not the number one. There are people who have a higher score than me. So when you join in, you're going to see your stretch grade score is kind of front and center, so that you can ensure that my score went up like 0.5%, 0.5 points. Uh, After the last score run, there is a job that runs behind the scene for this. Anyway, so this is my score. Uh, there there are a couple of things that we do here. One of the things that we talked about is an open source here. So when you go to this open source tab, the first thing you're going to notice is that our agent bubbled up a couple of opportunities for you. This is open source projects they found based on your interest that, hey, these two repos have issues that you can work on, which is right up in your skill set that you or your preferences that you specified in the platform. This would be a great way to improve your score. If you complete this, your score is going to go up by 1.2. This is obviously approximation of it. Lots of other properties varies, but somewhere around that, your score is going to go up. So we provide lots of guardrails, right? We understand what we're asking you to do is not easy. Going into an unknown code base and trying to push a request is not easy, but that's why you're going to be different, right? That's what we're going to set you apart from other hundreds of software developers. So when you come in, we cannot provide you a detailed description of the issue. There is Copilots also comes in. Think of this as your kind of senior developer or guide, a mentor that kind of walk you through how to tackle that issue. There are integrations we provide, like with code spaces, for an example. That means not only if you decide to work on the issue with a click of a button, you can open the repository in a VS Code on the browser, so that you don't have to worry about other installations and environment and Docker and all that stuff. So we make it super easy. So we provide so that you don't get worried about other stuff so that you can essentially focus on solving this issue that really matters. We talked about challenges. We just closed the challenge, this one. This was an interesting one. What we have started doing is that we open part of our backlog. So we are not just making a random build and hello world program. We give you like real world. This is problem in our product or feature that we want to build. So we opened a backlog, our backlog, to community saying, hey, can you help us build this feature? So some of the challenges going to have cash prices. So developers comes in, and whoever builds this, if we like it, we're going to integrate to our core product. So that way you can brag about it on the down the line. Hey, by the way, I built something. Go to Tublian.com. You can check out what I have built. This gives you lots of social credit and proof, right? Like, hey, you know your stuff. This is what we care about. Give you the real world experience. There are tons of stuff. One last thing I'm going to provide is this is a very popular feature in our platform. It's called 80/20. So you're going to get times where you want to do something, you want to learn really quickly a different skill, language, or platform, or code, or framework. We have this 80/20 that allows you to quickly create something. So for an example, I've been exploring to large language model and trying to figure out how we can build AI agents with that. So I've created this roadmap using 80/20. This is a really interesting way to learn as well, because it's not one structure, one way to learn. The amazing thing is that it figures out where you are in your journey, and based on that, you're going to curate and personalize your path. So we believe this is the fastest way to learn anything. So here are some of the tools that we provide to emerging devs so that they can get real world experience as fast as possible. There is another category of users we have. So let's say, for an example, you have the experience. Just what you're looking for is the next opportunity, a next gig, or you want to work on other freelancing projects, for an example. Then we provide tools like Jobs Copilot, for an example, that where developers can come in and find the jobs that they're really passionate about. Again, here is also, I have integrated with Upwork. I actually have a biz dev agent working here. This is what it looks like. I'm sure we're going to demo this next week. So biz dev agent found some interesting freelancing projects for me. So we provide tools that essentially allows you to quickly find opportunities in real time. So you as an experienced dev don't have to waste time looking for this opportunity and find them immediately. So there's a bunch of stuff. I can go nonstop, but this is some of the ways developers are using our platform. All of this activity you're doing, tying back to the street cred again, every activity gets tracked, obviously, and then it improves your score. So that way we give credit for, we reward you for your efforts. Like, hey, I'm learning something new. That should get recognized, right? Because you are upgrading yourself. All of this gonna get measured by our model and improves the score. That's essentially how we drive this whole platform. I think that's a good overview here. I cannot hear you, Precious.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
So, I was saying that, okay, yeah. So I was saying that, this is like a very interesting overview. Everybody knows. In case if you are just joining us on the platform, you're just joining Tublian, we decide to go straight to job scope pilot and just start, depending on where you are in your career. Just like we said last week, it's a suit, it's not just a tool. So is one place where you go and you have like varieties of AI tools, right? And we are still building more tools. So you just need to get in on Tublian because we have more tools coming out for you. So next week, just like Nilanjan said, we are going to be here again on this live, same time. I can see two people are live with us. So guys, if you are here, just give us a shout out in the comments. We would really love to, like, maybe like chat with you in the comment. Yeah. So make sure you drop a comment. If you're joining us for the first time, we do this every Sunday, 5 p.m. EST, and that is 11 p.m. WAT, which is where I am. Right. Thank you very much if you join. Next week, we are going to demo a new AI tool that we're building. So, which means if you join us here next week, you're going to see it first before it goes live, right? Because I'm sure that, okay, it won't be live as at then, but things can change. But join us next week because it will be very, very important. You are going to see this tool, how it works firsthand for you, and all the mighty things it can help you do. We are going to talk about all of that next week. Thank you very much for joining us this week. Nilanjan, do you want to say any final words before we leave?
No, good. I mean, we love doing this stuff. Yeah, if you join next week, ask lots of questions. This is a great way to get insight and figure out what we're working on and how we can help. Love to get your feedback. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nilanjan. Thank you everyone that joined the live. We really appreciate. We are trying to keep this to 30 minutes, right? We just come in 30 minutes, we have the conversation, and then we're out. So you don't have to wait for long being on the live session for very long. Come in, treat one thing, answer the questions, and then you go. So this is 32 minutes, 40 seconds. And I say thank you everyone. Thank you, Nilanjan. Thank you everyone that joined the live stream today. See you next week. Join our community. You can also join Tublian by visiting www.tublian.com. Like, subscribe so that when next we go live, you'll be able to see it. So thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.
Take care, man. Bye.